Hari Bol, everybody. Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari. Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nityānanda Vishnupad. Ashatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Viranta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai. Nityānanda Vishnupad. Ashatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Viranta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityānanda Vishnupad. Ashatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityānanda Vishnupad. Ashatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityānanda Bhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishora Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityānanda Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityānanda Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupa Anugakarya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Hari Das Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Śrīman Nityānanda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Alright, so let's just 1 second. Let's check all who's here now. Okay, sharing my screen. Let's see. Okay, it says there's 2 people there. I don't know who that is. So today I don't have, I'm still using the same connection I was using yesterday, but it seems like it's more stable today, thank God. So let's start off with singing a kirtan for Nityānanda Prabhu. Let's see which one. We can sing. Why don't we sing? Today we'll sing, how does it go? Jai Jai Nityānanda Rohini Kumar. So this is a song called Jai Jai Nityānanda Rohini Kumar by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur. All glories to Shri Nityānanda Prabhu, the son of Rohini. To deliver the fallen souls, he extends his 2 arms. With a choked voice, he stammers sweetly. Whomever he sees, he lovingly embraces. Overflowing with prem, his eyes always roll about restlessly, looking like bumblebees hovering over a golden lotus. The merciful Lord Sri Nitai knows the sufferings of others. He has strung together a garland of the holy names which he has bestowed upon the people of this world. He has subdued the sinners and the atheists, but he has distributed prem to the poor and the lowly. Calling out, "Alas, O Gauranga!" he falls to the earth. Nitai's whole body becomes soaked with the tears from his eyes. Within his heart, Vrindavan Das considers Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu to be like Mount Sumeru falling upon the earth. Haribol Champak Didi, Nri Hari Prabhu, and whoever is watching on YouTube and Facebook. Hare Krishna Shubhananda Prabhu. Haribol. I'll just sing this through, because I started late today, I'll just sing this one time through, not lead and response. So you can sing along with me. Jaya Jaya Nityānanda Rohini Kumara Patita Udhar lagi du bahu pasar Gata gata madhura madhura ado bolo Jare dekhe tare preme dhori de Magalochana Guraye Nirantara Shonara Kamale Jeno Hiraye Brahmara Odayara Thakur Nitai Paradukha Jane Hari namer mala kanti dilo jaga jane O papi pashandi jata korilo dalana Hina hina jane koila prema vitara Hare Gauranga boli pore bhumi tale Sharira bhijilo nitai nayane rajai Vrindavana dasamane e vichari Dharani upare ki baat sumeru padi Jaya Jaya Nityānanda Rohini Kumara Patita Udhar lagi tu bahu pasar Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Jai Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Arjuna Prabhu and Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu, Sudevi Didi. Hare Krishna. Alright, so now we will do Caitanya-bhāgavata Mangalacharan and then sing verses in glorification of Caitanya-bhāgavata and Vrindavan Das Thakur from Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. I'll just need to open it. 1 second. Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujao kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalaya-taksho Vishvambaro dijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityānanda Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha Kamalayate Kshana Parajanu Vilambi Sharbhujo Bahuda Bhakti Rasabhinartaka. Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurte Jayati Jayati Nrityang Tasya Sarva Priyanam. Adeshi Chaitanya Priya Goshtira Charane Ashisha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Bandho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishvambar. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina Iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai Kshiptashtakama ditaranga madhye Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. Ore mura loka shuno Chaitanya manga Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshaka Krishna lila bhagavate kohe vyas Chaitanya lila ravyas vrindavana das Vrindavana dasa koilo Chaitanya manga जानते जाने कृष्ण भक्ति सिद्धांतेर सीमा भागवते যত ভক্তি সিদ্ধান্তের সার লেখিয়াছেন ইহা জানি করিয়া উদার চৈতন্য মঙ্গল শুনে যদি পাশন্তি জবান সেহ মহাবৈষ্ণব হই ততক্ষণ মানুষের চিত্তে নারে ঐচ্ছে গ্রন্থ ধন্য বৃন্দাবন দাস মুখে ভক্ত শ্রী চৈতন্য বৃন্দাবন দাস পরে কোটি নমস্কার ঐচ্ছে গ্রন্থ করিতে তারিল সংসার নারায়ণী চৈতন্যের উচ্ছিষ্ট ভাজন তার গর্ভে জন্মিলা শ্রীদাস বৃন্দাবন তার কি অদ্ভুত চৈতন্য চরিত বর্ণন যাহার শ্রবণে সুধা কইল ত্রিভুবন সহজে বিচিত্র মধুর চৈতন্য বিহার বৃন্দাবন দশ মুখে অমৃতের দ্বার By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya commentary of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. All right, so if you're in our WhatsApp group, you'll have seen my message that I am on using the same mobile data that I used yesterday. That was so frustrating, but it seems like it's stable today, right? There hasn't been any cutouts yet, so I think it might be all right. Let's do a recap of the previous 2 days of reading. 1 second, just putting this mridanga down. Oh, Krishna. Okay. So this chapter of, we're in Ādi-khaṇḍa, chapter 9 of Caitanya-bhāgavata. Okay, Champak Didi says it's stable. Thank God. Okay. Haribo Vidyalalasa Didi. And Raseshwari Mataji, Haribo, Dandavat Pranams to all of you. Okay. So this chapter describes the various dramas related to Shri Krishna, Ram, and Vaman that Srimad Nityānanda Purī enacted up to his 12th year and his subsequent travel to holy places up to the age of 20. So we're going to read his traveling from when he was 12 years old till he's 20 years old. Wow. That's a lot of traveling to holy places. Okay, so on the order of Sri Gaurakrishna, Sri Anantadev personally appeared in the village of Ekachakra in the district of Radhadesh from the womb of Padmavati, the wife of Haro Oja, and he appeared as Sri Nityānanda Chandra. In the wake of his appearance, all the prevalent inauspicious symptoms were totally uprooted. In his childhood pastimes, Srimad Nityananda Prabhu and his associate childhood friends, they remained engaged in imitating various pastimes of Lord Krishna. Sometimes, Nityananda Prabhu and his friends would form the assembly of the demigods, and someone dressed as Mother Earth, burdened by the atrocities of the demons, would come before that assembly and offer prayers. At that time, Srimad Nityananda Prabhu and the boys, who were part of that assembly, would go to the bank of the river and pray to Lord Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Thereafter, a boy acting as Kshirodaksha Vishnu would announce from a hidden place. He would say, "I will soon appear in Mathura Gokul in order to diminish the burden of the earth." At other times, when I was little, actually all the way till I was like, kind of old, like maybe till I was 12 or something like that. Me and my friends used to enact different things. Like we used to pretend that I was this character and that he was that character and the other friend was that character, and we'd go out and play for, like we used to do that all day. That used to be the most fun thing. So Nityānanda Prabhu would do that with his friends, but it would all be with Krishna's pastimes. At other times, they imitated the various Dvapar pastimes of Krishna, like the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki, the birth of Krishna in the prison cell, Vasudev's taking Krishna to the house of Nanda, Vasudev's return with Mahamaya, the daughter of Yashoda, the killing of Putana, the breaking of Shakata, Krishna's stealing butter and milk from the house of the cowherds, the killing of Dhenuka, Aga, and Bakasura, tending the cows, lifting Govardhan, stealing the gopis' clothes, Krishna's bestowing mercy on the wives of the sacrificial brahmanas, Narad's giving advice to Kamsa in a secluded place, and the killing of the elephant Kuvalaya, the wrestlers Chanur and Mushtika, and the killing of Kamsa. Sometimes he would take the form of Vaman, sometimes in the form of Vaman, he deceived Bali. Sometimes, while enacting the pastimes of Ram, he would gather his friends to form an army of monkey soldiers and build a bridge. And he would personally play the role of Lakshman and approach Sugriva with a bow and arrows in his hands. In the form of Ram, he would diminish the pride of Parshuram, and while enacting the killing of Indrajit, he would fall unconscious in the mood of Lakshman, having been hit by Indrajit's powerful arrow until Hanuman... Let's read from that point on, because that story was just so much fun. I mean, not just fun, it was like so... yeah. It was just such an... Yeah, I'm going to just read from that verse on, and that's where we ended off last time. One day the Lord enacted the pastime of killing Indrajit, the son of Ravan, and one day in the mood of Lakshman he accepted defeat. Someone in the role of Vibhishan was brought before Lord Ramachandra, and Ram performed his Abhishek, or coronation, installing him as king of Lanka. Okay, yeah, so we'll read from this point on. One boy said, "I am the mighty Ravan. Now I am releasing the Shakti Shela weapon. Stop it if you can, Lakshman." Saying this, the boy threw a lotus flower at Nityānanda, and in the mood of Lakshman, Nityānanda fell to the ground. After the Lord in the mood of Lakshman fell unconscious, all the boys tried in vain to revive him. When they found that no symptom of life remained in the body of Nityānanda, they all held their heads and they all began to cry. The Lord's father and mother came running there and also observed that there was no sign of life in their son. They then also fell to the ground unconscious. Nityānanda Prabhu's parents fell to the ground unconscious. Everyone who saw this tragedy was struck with wonder. As the boys describes the entire incident, someone said, "I understand why he's unconscious." Previously, one great actor played the role of Dasharath, and when he heard that Ram had left for the forest, he left his body. Someone else said, "There's a boy dressed as Hanuman. If he gives him medicine, he'll be cured." Before the incident, the Lord had instructed his friends, "When I fall unconscious, you should all gather around me and cry. After a while, send Hanuman for some medicine. I will recover when he puts the medicine to my nose." When the Lord fell unconscious in his own mood, the boys were all bewildered. Because they were so confused, they could not remember the Lord's instructions. They simply cried loudly, "Oh brother, please get up!" But when the boys heard the people's comments, they remembered Nityananda's instruction, and the boy dressed as Hanuman immediately went for the medicine. And so he's not, right now the boy acting as Hanuman isn't entirely acting. He's actually going to get the medicine to revive Nityananda Prabhu in real life. Also, it's not just a drama anymore, even though it is. It's like serious stuff, man. They need to revive Nityananda Prabhu, otherwise he's finished. Isn't that so interesting? He's pretending to be Hanuman, but he's also not pretending. Another boy dressed as a renunciant welcomed Hanuman with fruits and roots. He said to Hanuman, "My dear sir, please stay and grace my ashram. It is a great fortune to meet such a person as you." Hanuman replied, "I must go and complete my important mission. I would like to come, but I cannot delay." "You must have heard that Lakshman, the younger brother of Ramachandra, has been rendered unconscious by the Shakti Shela weapon of Ravan. Therefore, I am going to the Gandhamadhan hill to bring medicine. Only then will he survive." The renunciate then said, "If you must go, first take a bath and eat something. Then you may go." The two boys repeated whatever Nityananda had instructed them. Therefore, everyone gazed at them in astonishment as they listened to their conversation. Then, on the request of the renunciate, Hanuman went to take bath in the lake, whereupon another boy in the lake grabbed hold of his feet like a crocodile. The boy playing the role of a crocodile tried to pull Hanuman into the water, but Hanuman pulled the boy to the shore. After a short fight, Hanuman defeated the crocodile. When Hanuman returns to the renunciate's ashram, he saw a mighty warrior. So the renunciate turned into a mighty warrior. He was actually a demon. A boy dressed as a Rakshasa then attempted to swallow Hanuman. He challenged, "You have defeated the crocodile, but how will you defeat me? I will eat you. Then who will revive Lakshman?" Hanuman replied, "Your Ravan is a dog. I consider him most insignificant. Get out of my way." In this way, the two first exchanged some harsh words. Then they began pulling each other's hair, and finally they began striking each other with their fists. After promptly defeating the demon, Hanuman approached the Gandhamadhan hill. There, Hanuman fought with some boys who were dressed as Gandharvas. After defeating the Gandharvas, Hanuman took the Gandhamadhan hill on his head to Lanka. Another boy, playing the role of a doctor, remembered Lord Ram as he held the medicine to Lakshman's nose. At that very moment, Lord Nityananda regained his consciousness, upon which his parents and others, they all smiled in relief. Hase can also mean they laughed. They all laughed in relief. Smiled is too timid. I think they all began to laugh. "Oh my God!" Ha ha ha! Yeah. Harai Pandit embraced his son, and all the boys became overjoyed. Everyone asked, "Dear son, where have you learned all this?" The Lord smiled and said, "These are all my pastimes." In his early childhood, the Lord was most attractive. No one wanted to let him go from their laps. Everyone had more affection for Nityananda than they had for their own sons, but no one could recognize him due to the influence of Lord Vishnu's illusory energy. In this way, from the beginning of his childhood, Nityananda had no happiness other than enjoying the pastimes of Lord Krishna. All of his friends left their parents to constantly sport in the company of Nityananda. I offer repeated obeisances at the feet of those boys who enjoyed the association of Lord Nityananda. Thus, from his childhood, Nityananda had no interest other than enacting the various pastimes of Lord Krishna. Who can describe the pastimes of Lord Ananta? They are only manifest to one who has received his mercy. Lord Nityananda remained at home like this for 12 years. Thereafter, he left for visiting the holy places. Okay, so that's where we left off last time. And now we'll continue on from verses 101 to 189. Haribol, Indira Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. And Raseshwari Mataji, I already saw you actually. Haribol. Sudevi Didi. And Kishore Prabhu, hey. Haribol. Okay. So, what time is it? Okay, great. We're only starting. Yeah, perfect. If the connection ever does start to get funky, let me know. But so far, since this morning, it's been good. So I think we're okay. Tīrtha-yātrā korilen vinkshati vatsar, tabe sheshe ailen Caitanya gochar. He traveled to the holy places for the next 20 years, and then finally joins the association of Lord Chaitanya. 20 years? I thought it said from the age of 12 to the age of 20. I wonder if it just means approximately 20 years. Nityānanda Tīrtha-yātrā shuno Ādi-khaṇḍe, Je Prabhure ninde dushta papishta pashande, Je Prabhu korila sarva jagata udhar, Karuna samudra jahan boy nahi ar, Jahar kripay jani Chaitanyar tattva, Je Prabhur dvare vyakta Chaitanya mahatva. Please listen to this narration in the Ādi-khaṇḍa of the holy places visited by Lord Nityānanda, who only the most degraded sinful atheist would dare criticize. That Lord who delivered the entire universe is nothing but an ocean of mercy. Only by His mercy can we know the truth about Lord Chaitanya. In fact, the glories of Lord Chaitanya are manifested through Him. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Śrī Nityananda Prabhu exhibited compassion towards the fallen, averse living entities, and thus he delivered the entire world. Being bereft of receiving His mercy, only wicked, sinful atheists criticized Him. Only Śrī Nityananda has made the truth regarding Śrī Caitanya known to the world. Without His mercy, no one is able to enter the glories of Śrī Caitanya by independent endeavor. 105. Shruno Śrī Caitanya priya tamer kathan, Je mate korila tirtha mandali brahman. Please listen to topics concerning Lord Chaitanya's dearest associate visiting the various pilgrimage sites. Gaudiya Bhashya. Regarding the holy places mentioned in verses 105 to 151 and 194 to 202 that were sanctified by the touch of Nityananda's lotus feet, one should refer to the various commentators' descriptions of the places mentioned in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 78, verses 17 to 20, and the next chapter, 79, verses 9 to 21, that were visited by Sri Baladev. Okay, so Baladev, he also traveled to all the different holy places. Nityananda Prabhu, non-different from Baladev, also did that. 106. Prathame chalila Prabhu tirtha vakreshwar, tabe Vaidyanath bane gela ekeshwar. The Lord first went to Vakreshwar. Then he went alone to Vaidyanath. Interesting. I'm used to hearing that some people say it's Mādhavendra Purī, some say it's Lakshmipata Tirtha, but that they went to Harai Pandit and Padmavati's house, and this mendicant, whoever it was, and said that I wanted to beg you for something. Will you give it to me? And they said, whatever you want. And then they said that I want your son. And you've heard that, right? But in Chaitanya-bhāgavata, it doesn't mention that. It just mentions that he just left And I guess he was 12 years old when he left home. So it doesn't mention anything about him, that any sadhu begging for him. Pratame chalila prabhu tirtha vakish. Oh, I just read that. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word ekeshwar means alone, or being devoid of others' association. See, it even says that he was alone. 107. Gaya giya kashi gela shiva rajdhani, jahi dhara vahe ganga uttar vahini. He went to Gaya, and then to Lord Shiva's abode, Kashi, where the Ganga flows towards the north. 108. Ganga deki boro sukhi Nityānanda rai, snana kore pan kore artha nahi jai. Seeing the Ganga, Lord Nityananda was greatly pleased. He took bath and drank some water, yet his grief was not mitigated. His grief? Prayage korila magha mase pratasnan, tabe mathurai gela purva janmastan. In the month of Magh, January-February, the Lord took an early morning bath at Prayag. Then he went to Mathura, his former birthplace. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Purva Janmastan refers to the appearance place in the Dwapara Yuga pastimes. Yamuna Vishrama Ghate Kori Jal Keli, Govardhana Parvate Bulen Kutuhali. The Lord sported in the waters of the Yamuna at Vishram Ghat, and thereafter went with great interest to see Govardhan. Śrī Vrindavan Adi Jata Dvadashavan, Eke Prabhu Sab Koren Brahman. The Lord visited each of the 12 forests, beginning with Śrī Vrindavan. Gokule Nander Ghar Vasati Dekhiya, Vistar Rodan Prabhu Korila Bosiya. When he saw the house and courtyard of Nanda Maharaj at Gokul, he sat down and cried profusely. Tabe Prabhu Madan Gopal Namaskari, Chalila Hastinapur Pandaver Puri. Nityananda offered his obeisances to Madan Gopal, and then went to Hastinapur, the abode of the Pandavas. Bhaktastan Deki Prabhu Koren Krandhan, Na Bhuje Tartika Bhakti Shunyer Karan. Seeing the home of those devotees, Nityananda began to cry. The local people, however, could not understand the Lord's sentiments due to their lack of devotion. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Tartika refers to the so-called residents of the holy places, our local people. The words Bhakti Shunyar Karan mean due to the absence of devotion. Balarama Kirti Dekhi Hastina Nagare, Trahi Haladar Boli Namaskar Kore. And I guess he was crying because that's when Baladev was separated from Nanda Baba and Yashoda. So as Nityananda remembered Balaram's glorious activities in Hastinapur, he exclaimed, "O Haladar, please save me," and then offered obeisances. Tabe Dwarakai ailen Nityananda, Samudre Korila Snan Hoila Ananda. Thereafter, Nityananda went to Dwarka, where he joyfully took bath in the ocean. Siddhapur Gela Jatha Kapiler Stan, Matsya Tirte Mahotsave Korila Annadan. He next went to Siddhapur, the place of Lord Kapila. Then he went to, I've been there before. Then he went to Matsya Tirtha, where he distributed foodstuffs at a festival. Shiva Kanchi Vishnu Kanchi Gela Nityānanda Dekhi Hase Dui Garne Maha Dvandva. Lord Nityananda then visited Shiva Kanchi and saw the adjoining Vishnu Kanchi. He laughed when he saw the two groups of followers quarreling there. Gaudiya Bhashya. The second line of this verse refers to the Vishnu Kanchi residents, who are Vaishnavas, and the Shiva Kanchi residents, who are devotees of Shiva. The Shiva Kanchi residents who are devotees of Shiva, and Shiva, who is a devotee of Sankarshan. Due to their poor fund of knowledge, these two groups always debate over the positions of Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. In other words, after observing their fierce animosity towards each other, Śrī Nityananda Prabhu, who is non-different from Mool Sankarshan Vishnu, began to laugh. Kurukshetre pritudake bindu sarovare prabhase gelen sudarshana tirtha bare. Nityananda Prabhu also visited Kurukshetra, Pritudaka, Bindu Sarovar, Prabhas, and Sudarshan Tirtha. Tirtha Kupa Mahatirtha Gelen Vishala, Tabe Brahma Tirtha Chakra Tirtere Chalila. He also visited the great holy place called Tirtha Kup. He also went to Vishala, Brahma Tirtha, and Chakra Tirtha. Pratisrota Gela Jata Prachi Saraswati Naimi Sharanye Tabe Gela Mahamati. The Lord visited Pratisrota, where the Saraswati river flows in the opposite direction. Srota means flow and Prati means towards, or it can mean opposite also. Against. Pratisparta, yeah. The most magnanimous Nityananda then went to Naimisharanya. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Pratisrota refers to the Saraswati river. In this connection, one should refer to the explanations on Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10.78.18 by the various commentators such as Sridhar Swami. In ordinary language, the word Pratisrota refers to a river that is flowing in the opposite direction. In other words, at Prabhas Kshetra, the river Saraswati flows west and enters into the ocean. Srimad Vallabhacharya, who visited various holy places of northern and western India, described Sri Baladev's travel to the holy places in his Subodhani commentary on the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 78, Verse 18, as follows. Sri Baladev went to Prabhas, and after taking bath and offering oblations, he departed. Sri Baladev took bath at Prabhas in the place known as Agni Kund, as well as at the confluence of the Saraswati river and the ocean. He went to the place known as Pratisrota on the bank of the Saraswati, where the river flows in the opposite direction. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11.36, it is clearly stated, Vayam Prabhasam Yasyamo Yatra Pratyak Saraswati. We shall go to Prabhas Kshetra, where the river Saraswati flows west. According to Sridhar Swami's commentary, the word Pratyak means flowing towards the west, and according to the Bhagavat Chandra Chandrika of Sri Viraragavacharya, we shall go to the place known as Prabhas, where the Saraswati river flows in the opposite direction and enters into the ocean. Tabe gela Nityananda Ayodhya Nagar Rama Janma Bhumi Deki Khandila Vistar. He then visited the city of Ayodhya, where he cried upon seeing the birthplace of Lord Ram. Tabe gela guhaka chandal rajyajata, mahamurcha Nityananda pailena tata. Nityananda then visited the Chandal Guhaka's kingdom, where he fell unconscious. Guhaka Chandala matra hoilo smaran, tin din achila anande achetan. Simply by remembering the activities of the Chandal Guhaka, Nityananda lost consciousness in ecstasy for 3 days. Jai Jai Bane Achila Thakur Ramachandra, Dekhiya Virahe Gadi Jai Nityananda. On seeing the forests where Lord Ramachandra had resided, Nityananda rolled on the ground in separation. Tobe gela sarayu, koshiki kori snan, Tobe gela polasta ashrama punyasthan. Thereafter, the Lord took bath in the Sarayu and Koshiki rivers. Then he went to the ashram of Pulastya Rishi. Gomati Gandaki Shona Tirte Snan Kori, Tobe gela Mahindra Parvata Chudo Pari. Lord Nityananda took bath in the Gomati, Gandaki, and Shona rivers. Then he climbed to the top of Mahindra mountain. Parashurame re tata kori namaskar, Tobe gela Ganga Janma Bhumi Haridwar. There he offered obeisances to Parashuram. Nityananda also visited Haridwar, the source of the Ganga. Pampa Bhimarati Gela Sapta Godavari, Venva Tirtha Vipashai Majjana Achari. The Lord took bath in the Pampa, Bhimarati, Godavari, Venva, and Vipasha rivers. Kartika Dekhiya Nityananda Mahamati, Śrī Parvata Gela Jatha Mahesha Parvati. After seeing Kartikeya at Madurai, the most intelligent Nityananda went to Sri Shaila, the abode of Shiva and Parvati. Brahmana Brahmani Rupe Mahesha Parvati, Sheshi Parvate Dohe Koren Vasati. Shiva and Parvati reside on this mountain in the form of a Brahmana couple. Neja Ishta Deva Chini Len Duijan, Avaduta Rupe Kore Tirtha Parjatan. Upon Nityananda's arrival there, they understood that their worshipable Lord was wandering on a pilgrimage as a mendicant. Parama Santoshe Dohe Atiti Dekhiya, Paka Kori Len Devi Harashita Hoya. They were most satisfied to receive such a guest, and Parvati happily cooked for the Lord. Parama adare bikha dilen prabhure, hasi Nityananda dohe kore namaskare. They fed the Lord with great satisfaction, and Nityananda smiled and offered them his respects. Ki antara katha hoilo Krishna se janen, tabe Nityananda Prabhu Dravide gelen. Only Krishna knows what they confidentially discussed. Then the Lord continued his journey to Dravida, or South India. Dekhiya Venkatanath Kama Koshti Puri, Kanchi Giya Saridwara Gelen Kaveri. the Lord visited Venkatanath, Kamakoshtipuri, Kanchi, and the Kaveri, the best of rivers. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Saridvara is an adjective for the Kaveri river. Tabe gela Śrī Ranganather Punyasthan, Tabe korilen Hari Kshetre re Payan. Then the Lord visited the sacred place of Śrī Ranganath, and thereafter he went to Harihar Kshetra. Rishabha Parvate Gela Dakshina Mathura, Kritamala Tamraparni Yamuna Uttara. He visited the Rishabha mountain, Madurai, and the Kritamala, Tamraparni, and Uttar Yamuna rivers. And he did this all by foot, didn't he? One second, I just remembered something. Malaya Parvata Gela Agastya Alaye, Tahara Ohrishta Hoila Deki Mahashaye. Nityananda Prabhu visited the ashram of Agastya Rishi in the Malaya hills. The residents there were all jubilant to see the Lord. Tasavara Atiti Hoila Nityananda, Padrikashrame Gela Parama Ananda. Nityananda stayed as a guest in their ashram and then departed in great ecstasy for Badrik ashram. Kotadina Nara Narayanir ashrame, Achile Nityananda Parama Nirjane. Lord Nityananda resided in seclusion for some days in the ashram of Nara Narayan rishis. Tabe Nityananda Gela Vyaser Alaye, Vyasa Chinilen Balarama Mahashaye. He then went to the ashram of Srila Vyasadeva, who recognized that Nityananda was Balaram himself. Shakshat hoya Vyas Atithya Korila, Prabhu o Vyasere Danda Pranata hoila. Srila Vyasadeva personally received Nityananda as a guest, and the Lord offered his obeisances to Srila Vyasadeva. Tabe Nityananda gela bodher bhavan, dekhilen Prabhu bosi ache bodhagan. Lord Nityananda then visited the residence of the Buddhists. When he arrived there, he saw they were all sitting together. Jigyasen Prabhu ke ho uttar na kore, kruddha hoy Prabhu lati mari len shire. My God. Polailo bodhagan hasiya hasiya, bone brahma Nityananda nirbhoy hoya. The Lord asked a question, but no one replied. Becoming angry at them, the Lord kicked them in the head, but they all simply smiled and ran away. Nityananda thus fearlessly continued his travels through the forest. Tabe Prabhu ailen Kanyaka Nagar, Durga Devi dekhi gela Dakhina Sagar. The Lord eventually arrived in Kanyakumari. After seeing Durga there, he went to see the southern ocean. Tabe Nityananda gela Śrī Anantapure, Tabe gela Pancha Apsarara Sarovare. Sorry. Pancha Apsarar Sarovare. Sorry, guys. Nityananda then went to Anantapur, and after that, he went to Panchapsara Kund. Five Apsara Kund. Apsara. I wonder what that place is all about. Gokarnakhya gela Prabhu Shiver Mandire Kerale Trigarta ke bule ghare gaye. He next visited the temple of Shiva known as Gokarna. He visited Kerala and the various places in Trigarta. Dvaipayani Arya Deki Nityananda Rai Nirvindhya Payoshni Tapti Brahmena Lilai. He then visited goddess Parvati, who dwells on an island near Gokarna. Lord Nityananda also visited the Nirvindhya, Payoshni, and Tapti rivers. Reva Mahishmati Puri Malatirte Gela Surparaka Diya Prabhu Pratichi Chalila. He went to the city of Mahishmati on the banks of the Reva river, and he saw Malatirtha. The Lord then passed through the holy district of Shurparaka on his way west. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Pratichi refers to the direction in which the sun sets, or the west. 152. E mata abhay paramananda rai brahme Nityananda bhay nahi ka kahai. The fearless, ecstatic Nityananda Prabhu traveled in this way without fear of anyone. Nirantar Krishna Veshe Sharira Abash Khone Kande Khone Hase Ke Bujhe Sheras. The Lord had no control of his body due to his ecstatic love for Krishna. Sometimes he cried and sometimes he laughed. Who can understand his ecstatic moods? E mata Nityananda Prabhur Brahman Daive Mādhavendra Saha Hoilo Darashan. As the Lord traveled in this way, by the will of providence, he met Śrī Mādhavendra Purī. Jai Śrī Mādhavendra Purī Par Ki Jai. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Mādhavendra Purī is a renowned Vaishnava sannyasi and spiritual master in the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. The seed of the desire tree of devotional service served by the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya first fructified in him in Mādhavendra Purī. See Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Adi 9-10 and Antya 8:34. Hey, remember when I was talking about Madhva having a long A at the beginning? Not Madhva, but Madhva when you're referring to Sampradaya. Like Madhvacharya on his own would be Madhva with a short A. But when you're saying like Madhva, like when you're saying something under Madhvacharya, then it becomes Madhva. So I was right. I mean, I can double check this later on, but whatever. Before him, the symptoms of devotional service based on... actually, I'm going to highlight this so I can check it later. Okay. Before him, the symptoms of devotional service based on conjugal mellows were not found in the Śrī Madhva Sampradaya. His disciples include Śrī Ishwar Puri, Śrī Advaita Prabhu, Śrī Paramananda Puri, Śrī Brahmananda Puri, Śrī Ranga Puri, Śrī Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and Śrī Raghupati Upadhyaya. The Śrī Madhva Sampradaya, or the disciplic succession of the Gaudiya Vaishnava branch, is listed in the Śrī Gaur Ganodesh, the Śrī Prameya Ratnavali, and in the book written by Śrī Gopal Guru Goswami. It is also quoted in the Bhakti Ratnakar. The Śrī Brahma Madhva Gaudiya disciplic succession is given in the Śrī Gaur Ganodesh as follows. Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, became the disciple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan. Brahma's disciple was Narad. Narad's disciple was Vyas. Vyas then transmitted transcendental knowledge to his disciple Shukadev. The famous Madhvacharya personally received initiation from Vyas. Madhvacharya, Madhvacharya's disciple was the exalted Padmanabhacharya. Padmanabhacharya's disciple was Narahari. Padmanabhacharya's disciple was Narahari, whose disciple was Madhava. Madhava's disciple was Akshobhya. Akshobhya's disciple was Jayatirtha, whose disciple was Gyanasindhu. Gyanasindhu's disciple was Mahanidhi, whose disciple was Vidyanidhi. Vidyanidhi's disciple was Rajendra, whose disciple was Jayadharma Muni. Among Jayadharma Muni's disciples was Śrīmad Vishnu Purī, the famous author of the Bhakti Ratnavali. Another disciple of Jayadharma was Purushottam, whose disciple was Vyasatirtha, who wrote the famous book Śrī Vishnu Samhita. Vyasatirtha's disciple was Śrīmad Lakshmipati, who is like a great reservoir of the nectar of devotional service. Lakshmipati's disciple was Mādhavendra Purī, a great preacher of devotional service. Mādhavendra Puri's disciple was Śrīman Ishwar Puri Swami. Ishwar Puri carefully understood the mellows of conjugal love for Lord Krishna and was able to distribute that fruit to others. Śrī Advaita Acharya displayed the sentiments of servitorship and friendship for the Lord. Lord Chaitanya accepted Śrīman Ishwar Puri as his spiritual master. The Lord proceeded to flood the entire world with spontaneous transcendental love for Krishna. So I think that's a Sanskrit. There's a Sanskrit version and Bengali version. And I think, but this is given in Gaur Ganadish Dipika. I didn't actually know that. I've seen those Sanskrit verses of the Brahma Madhva Parampara, but I didn't know it was from Gaur Ganadish Dipika. Or wait, maybe Gaur Ganadish is different than Gaur Ganadish Dipika. I don't know. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote Sanskrit verses after that, following this. Srila Kaviraj Goswami offers obeisances to Śrī Mādhavendra Purī as follows. There's actually a recording of Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj singing what we just read, that translation, singing those Sanskrit verses. Okay. Sri Kaviraj Goswami offers obeisances to Śrī Mādhavendra as follows. Yasmai datum chorayang kshira bhandam gopinata kshira chorabi bedobhut Shri Gopala durasid vashasan yat premnatam Mādhavendram natosmi. So I didn't know how to sing that. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Śrī Mādhavendra Purī, who was given a pot of sweet rice stolen by Shri Gopinath, who then became celebrated as Kshira Chora. Being pleased by Mādhavendra Puri's love, Shri Gopal, the deity at Govardhan, appeared to the public vision. For a description of Shri Gopal and Shri Kshira Chora Gopinath, one may see Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya, chapter 4, verses 21 to 197. That's one of my favorite parts of Chaitanya Charitamrita. That whole pastime of Mādhavendra Puri. The pastimes of Śrī Mādhavendra Puri's traveling alone to Śrī Vrindavan, and on the pretext of giving him milk, Lord Krishna is appearing before Puripad as he sat under a tree on the bank of the Govinda Kund. This is all described in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya, chapter 4, verses 23 to 33, and chapter 16, verse 271. By first accepting a Sanodiya Brahman as his disciple, and then accepting lunch from him, he established the etiquette of Daiva Varnashram through his pure behavior, and rejected the endeavors of the Adaiva Varnashram followers, who are averse to pure devotional service, who consider the Vaishnavas as belonging to a particular caste, and who lick the feet of the Smarta communities who disregard Mahaprasad. That's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya, chapter 17, verses 166 to 185, and chapter 18, verse 129. Mādhavendra Puri angrily rejected and chastised Ramachandra Puri for his offense to the spiritual master, and embraced and blessed Ishwar Puri with the words, "May you obtain the wealth of love for Krishna." He embraced and blessed Ishwar Puri for his unalloyed devotion to the spiritual master. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, chapter 8, verses 16 to 32.
The Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya, chapter 8, verses 33 to 35, describes how Śrīpad Mādhavendra Purī passed away from the material world, absorbed in feelings of transcendental separation, while reciting the following verse. Ādi-khaṇḍa nāta he, mathura nāta kadavalokyase, hridayam tvar alokakataram, daita bhramyati kim karomyaham. O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when will I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. O most beloved one, what shall I do now? 155. Mādhavendra Purī prema moy kolevar, prema moy jato sab sange anuchar. The body of Śrī Mādhavendra Purī is imbued with ecstatic love of God, prema moy kolevar, and his followers partake of those same sentiments. Except for Ramachandra. 156. Krishna rasa bino ar nahi ko ahar, Mādhavendra Purī dehe Krishner vihar. I guess he wouldn't be considered a follower though. So-called follower. Mādhavendra Purī did not relish anything other than loving sentiments for Lord Krishna, who enjoyed his pastimes in the body of Mādhavendra Purī. He's always performing pastimes in Mādhavendra Puri's heart. Jar Shishya Prabhu Acharya Var Gosai, Ki Kohibo Ar Tar Premer Bodai. What more can I say about the devotion of he who is the spiritual master of Sri Advaita Acharya? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Badai, derived from the Sanskrit word vriddhi and the common Bengali word bodo, means prominence, greatness, praiseworthy, glorious, and respectable. Madhava Purire deki len Nityānanda, Totokhane preme murcha hoila nispanda. When Nityananda saw Mādhavendra Purī, he was immediately stunned in ecstatic love and fell to the ground unconscious. Nityanande dekhi matra Śrī Mādhava Purī, Podila murchita hoy apana pasari. Seeing Nityananda, Mādhavendra Purī forgot himself and fell unconscious. 160. Bhakti rase Mādhavendra Adi Sutra Dhar, Gora Chandra iha kohi yachen bare bar. Śrī Gaurachandra has repeatedly stated that Śrī Mādhavendra Purī is the original root of worship and ecstatic love. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word bhakti rase is explained as follows. Codes of devotional service were handed down through Lakshmipati Tīrtha of the Tattvavada branch. The codes of pure devotional mellows, however, were inaugurated by Śrī Mādhavendra Purī. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Ādi 9:10 and Antya 8:34. Donhe murcha hoelen, donha darashane, kandaye Ishvara Puri Adi Shishya Gane. After they both fell unconscious, the disciples headed by Ishvara Puri all began to cry. Gaudiya Bhashya. At the time of Śrī Mādhavendra Puri's meeting with Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu, his eternal associate and servant Śrīpad Ishvara Puri was present. The phrase Ishvara Puri Adi refers to the 9 nidhis, or the 9 sannyasis, headed by Śrī Paramananda Puri. Kshane ke hoila bahya drishti dui jan, Anyonye gala dhori koren prandan. After some time, when they regained external consciousness, they held each other's neck, that means they embraced each other, and began to cry. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Bahya Drishti means after regaining consciousness or coming to external senses. Balu gadi jai dui Prabhu prem rase Hunkar karo ye Krishna premer abhishek. Overwhelmed in ecstatic love for Krishna, they then rolled in the sand and cried out loudly. Gaudiya Bhashya. The words Dui Prabhu refer to Srimad Nityananda Prabhu and Śrī Mādhavendra Purī. Prem nadi vahe dui Prabhur nayane Prithvi hoilo shiksikta dhanya heno mane. Tears of love flowed like rivers from their eyes and soaked Mother Earth, thereby making her feel gratified. Wow, beautiful description, huh? Kampa ashu pulaka bhavirantanai dui dehe viharaye chaitanya goshai. Shivering, shedding tears, hairs standing on end, and other ecstatic symptoms appeared without end, for Lord Chaitanya personally resides in their bodies. Nityānanda bole jata tirtha korilaya samyak tahar fal aji pailaya. Sorry. Lord Nityananda said, "Whatever pilgrimage I have performed till now has today borne fruit. Nayane dekhino Mādhavendra charan. E prem dekhiya dhanya hoilo. E prem dekhiya dhanya hoilo jivan." Today I have seen the lotus feet of Mādhavendra Purī. By seeing his ecstatic love of God, my life has become successful. Mādhavendra Purī Nityānande kori kole Uttarna spure kantha ruddha prema jale. Mādhavendra Purī embraced Nityananda and was unable to reply, for his throat was choked with love. 169. Heno prita hoilen Mādhavendra Purī Vakha hoite Nityanande bahir nakori. Śrī Mādhavendra Purī was so pleased that he was unable to release Nityananda from his embrace. Ishvar Puri Brahmananda Puri Ādi-khaṇḍa Sarva Shishya hoilen Nityanande rata. Ishvar Puri, Brahmananda Puri, and the other disciples of Mādhavendra Purī all felt great attachment for Lord Nityananda. Gaudiya Bhashya. Just want to quickly check the comments, see everything is okay. Hari Bol Arjuna Krishna Prabhu. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. Ishwar Puri was born in a Brahmin family of Kumarhatta, near the Hali Sahar station on the EB railway line. And he was a beloved disciple of Śrī Mādhavendra Purī. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya, chapter 8, verses 28 to 30, describes how Śrīman Mādhavendra, being pleased by his service, benedicted him in the following words. He benedicted him, saying, "May you obtain the wealth of love for Krishna." Prior to enacting the pastime of initiating Mahaprabhu with the 10-syllable mantra at Gaya, Śrī Ishwar Puri came to Navadvip and resided at the house of Gopinathacharya for 1 month. At that time, he had discussions with Advaita Prabhu and Mahaprabhu, in which he recited to them his book, Śrī Krishna Lilamrita. That's explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 11. It'd be interesting to see. I wonder if that book is still available, Ishwar Puri's book, Śrī Chaitanya Lilamrita. When Sriman Mahaprabhu visited Kumarhata to see the birthplace of Shripad Ishwar Puri, I've been there. He took some dirt from that place and bound it in his outer garment in order to teach the living entities how to respect one's spiritual master. Chaitanya-bhāgavata Adi, chapter 17, verse 101. Even today, every Gaudiya Vaishnava who visits the place of Śrī Ishwar Puri carries some dirt back with him. I don't think I did that though. I carried a bunch of books back with me. Śrī Mādhavendra Purī was the first fructified seed. Śrī Mādhavendra Purī was the first fructified seed of the desire tree of devotional service, and Śrī Ishwar Puri is the nourishment of that fructified seed. Chaitanya-bhāgavata Adi 9:11. The two brahmacharis, Govinda and Kashishwar, were disciples of Śrī Ishwar Puripad. After his disappearance, these two brahmacharis went to Nilachal on his order to serve Mahaprabhu. Yes. Oh, I didn't know that Kashishwar was a disciple of Ishwar Puri. I knew Govinda was, but not Kashishwar. Interesting. So Ishwar Puri sent Govinda and Kashishwar to Nilachal in order to serve Mahaprabhu. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi, chapter 10, verses 138 to 139, and Madhya, chapter 10, verses 131 to 134. Ishwar Puri received Mahaprabhu's mercy on the pretext of giving him mantra initiation in Gaya. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 17:8. Śrī Brahmananda Puri. Why was I singing that? Śrī Brahmananda Puri was a disciple of Sriman Mādhavendra Purī. In other words, he was one of the 9 nidhis, or roots of the desire tree of devotional service. CC Adi 9:13. He was a participant in Sri Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan pastimes in Navadvip. He also took part in Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Nilachal. Wow, I knew Brahmananda Puri was in Nilachal. I never knew that he was in Mahaprabhu's Navadvip pastimes though. Okay, 171. What time is it? Okay, we have 9 minutes left. Sabe jato mahajan sambhasha koren Krishna prema kaharo sharire na dekhen. They had previously come across many sadhus, but they had never before seen such devotional symptoms. This is referring to Nityānanda, right? Yes. Like they've seen many sadhus, but they never saw a sadhu like Nityānanda, right? I'm guessing. Sabe payen duk durjan sambhashiya Ataev vana sabhe brahmin dekhiya. They always felt distressed while conversing with materialistic people, so they decided to travel through the forests. Anyonye se sab dukher hoilo nash, anyonye dekhi Krishna premer prakash. Now, with this meeting, their distress was mitigated, and their love for Krishna was aroused. Kotodin Nityānanda Mādhavendra Sange Brahmin Shri Krishna Kata Parananda Range. For some days, Nityananda Prabhu traveled with Mādhavendra Purī and relished discussing topics of Lord Krishna. Mādhavendra Kata Adi Arbhut Kathan Mega dekhile matra hoy achetan. The characteristics of Mādhavendra Purī are most wonderful. He fell unconscious just by seeing a dark cloud. Gaudiya Bhashya. The meg, or cloud, is an udipan, or something that stimulates remembrance of Krishna, whose complexion resembles a newly formed cloud. Aharnisha Krishna preme madhyaper pray hase kande hoy hoy kore hai hai. Out of love for Krishna, he would day and night laugh, cry, and exclaim, "Hi, hi, alas, alas," almost like a drunkard. Nityānanda Mahamatta Govindir Rase Dhuliya Dhuliya Pore Atta Atta Hase. Lord Nityananda was intoxicated with loving sentiments for Govinda. He would laugh loudly and sway to and fro with love of God. Dohar Arbhuta Bhav Deki Shishyagan Niravadi Hari Boli Koroye Kirtan. Mādhavendra's disciples constantly chanted the name of Hari as they observed their extraordinary symptoms of love. Ratri dina keho nahi jane prema rase koto kala jai keho khana nahi vase. The two forgot whether it was day or night in their absorption of ecstatic love. Although they remained together for a number of days, they considered that time hardly a moment. Gauriya Bhashya. The words "kona nahi vase" indicates that although they both spent all their time constantly discussing topics of Krishna without considering external time, place, or circumstances, they did not feel that they had passed even a fraction of a moment. What verse am I reading up to? I'm just checking. 189, okay. Vidyalala Sadidi is asking, was Srila Vyasadeva still present on earth during Nityananda Prabhu's time? Isn't Vyasadeva present even till now? Somewhere in the Himalayas? I don't know. Thought so. Mādhavendra sange jata hoilo akhyan ke janaye taha Krishna Chandra se praman. Who can know all the incidents that took place between Nityananda and Mādhavendra Purī? Only Krishna can know. Kishore Krishna says that Vyasadeva, till this very day, is in Badri. And Nari Hari Prabhu confirms that also. Gauriya Bhashya. The phrase Krishna Chandra Se Praman indicates that only Lord Shri Krishna is the worshipable Lord for both Vishnu and the Vaishnavas, and as the supersoul of everyone, he knows everything. Mādhavendra Nityanande Charite Napare Niravadi Nityananda Sanghati Vihare. Mādhavendra Purī was unable to give up the association of Nityananda, so he constantly remained with him. Mādhavendra bole prem na dekhilo kotha she mor sarva tirtha heno prema jatha. Mādhavendra said, I have never seen such ecstatic love. Wherever such love of God is found, that is my favorite holy place. Janilo Krishner kripa ache mor prati Nityānanda heno bandhu paino sanghati. I know Krishna has bestowed his mercy on me because he has given me the association of Nityānanda. 184. Je she stane jadi Nityānanda sangha hoy, she stana sarva tirtha vaikuntadi moy. Wherever Nityananda's association is found, that place is most sacred and completely transcendental. Nityānanda heno bhakta shunile shravane avashya paive Krishna Chandra she jane. If one hears the name of Nityananda, he will certainly attain the lotus feet of Lord Krishna Chandra. Nityanande jahar tileka dvesha rahe Bhakta hoile o she Krishner, Bhakta hoile o she Krishner priya nahe. If one has the slightest envy for Nityananda, he is never favored by Krishna, even if he appears to be a devotee. Okay, this purport is a little bit long, so we'll read this purport later. But let me just finish these next two verses. We'll read this purport tomorrow. E mata Mādhavendra Nityānanda Prati Aharnisha Bolen Koren Ramati. In this way, Mādhavendra Purī day and night exhibited affection for Nityānanda with his speech and activities. Mādhavendra Prati Nityānanda Mahashaya Guru Buddhi Vyatirikta Arna Koroi. Nityananda considered Mādhavendra to be his guru and nothing less. I'll read that purport tomorrow also. E mata anyonye dui mahamati Krishna preme na janen kota divarati. These two greatly learned personalities did not know whether it was day or night due to their ecstatic love for Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. Being maddened with love for Krishna, both Śrī Mādhavendra Purī and Śrīmad Nityananda Prabhu were not concerned with the days and nights of the mundane external world, which is unfavorable to Krishna. Then after remaining together for some days, Nityananda left for Setu Banda, Rameshwaram. So tomorrow we will, then Mādhavendra Purī went to see the Sarayu river. In their absorption of Krishna consciousness, they both forgot their own bodies. So tomorrow we'll read those two those two Gaudiya Bhashya commentaries, and we'll finish the chapter. We'll read the rest of Nityananda Prabhu's traveling to holy places. Right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram, Jai Nityananda Ram, Jaya Mādhavendra Purī, Jaya Mādhavendra Purī, Jaya Mādhavendra Purī, Jaya Mādhavendra Purī, Jai Sachinanda, Jai Gaura Hari, Sachinanda, Jai Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Garanga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai, Jai Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Param Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Actually, I'll do full Jai Dwani. Jai Nityānanda Pravishtam Vishnupāda Ashvatarashata Shishmad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityānanda Pravishtam Vishnupāda Ashvatarashata Shishmad Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityānanda Pravishtam Vishnupāda Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityānanda Pravishtam Vishnupāda Srila Bhakti Brigyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityānanda Pravishtam Vishnupāda Ashvatarashata Shishmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityānanda Pravishtam Mahabhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityānanda Pravishtam Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityānanda Pravishtam Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड यमुना गंगा तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री Mādhavendra Purī Par ki jai. Shri Ishwar Puri Par ki jai. The, what was it, 9 Nidhis, was it? Anyways, all the disciples of Mādhavendra Purī, like Brahmananda Puri, and Govinda Kashishwar, the 9 nidhis or 7 nidhis, whatever it was. She Harinam Sankirtan, the meeting of Nityānanda Prabhu and Mādhavendra Purī Par ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Nityānanda Prabhu Tīrtha-yātrā Brahman ki jai. Tirtha Brahman, I mean. Then Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Vrindavan Thakur ki jai. Gaudiya Bhashya commentary ki jai. Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Shri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Go. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Pratadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vaja Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. So, if anybody wants to, let me just see all who's here. Haribol Kishore Prabhu, Nri Hari Prabhu, Dandavat pranams, Champak Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu. That's on Zoom, and now let's see on Facebook and YouTube. Arjuna Krishna Prabhu, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu, Sudevi Didi, Vidyalasa Didi, Raseshwari Ji, Indira Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Vidyalasa Didi. It was definitely such a lovely description of all the various tirthas that Nityānanda Prabhu traveled for. We read one place that said 20 years, but then we read that another place that he travels from the age of 12 to 20, so 18 years. But anyway, that's a long time of traveling. Kishore Prabhu, Nari Hari Prabhu, Champak Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu. Does anybody have anything to share? Anything that they want to...
We didn't get to this verse. We didn't get to the verse, but in the later verses after this, it'll say, hey, that whoever heard this pastime of the meeting of Nityānanda Prabhu and Mādhavendra Purī will attain Krishna Prem.
Jai Ho! Wonderful. Great. So we'll get to that tomorrow. That's great.
Yeah, that's what I like about the benedictions that Vrindavan Das Thakur gives at the end of the chapters, or the stories. Is wonderful. And I'm just remembering one thing too about Vyasadeva. You were saying is he still alive? Kishore was mentioning the place, but also we have to remember that he initiated Mādhavendra Purī. I mean, Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya went to the Himalayas to met him.
Yes, that's true. Yes, in the Himalayas, yeah.
One of his disciples was trying to follow him, but Madhvacharya started leaping like Hanuman and left him alone.
Whoa, that's really cool.
Who was Guhaka, the Chandala king? It was mentioned there in Caitanya-bhāgavata just now, how that Nityānanda Prabhu was in ecstasy remembering the king Guhaka, who was a Chandala.
Yeah, that's in the Ramayana. That's like a very close friend of Ramachandra.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful Leela. Like, yeah, that's a really beautiful section of Ramayana. God, I can't tell you all the details. And the what is? Have you ever seen? You haven't seen the Ramananda Sagar's Ram serial, have you? The Ramayana serial?
No, but Prem Pradeep said it was really good.
It's very good. Gurudev watched the whole thing in Houston when Gurudev was doing sickness Leela. He watched the entire serial in Houston. I remember being there in Houston and hearing it in Gurudev's room. And I watched the whole thing as well. And when I was in Puri, it's a great way for learning Hindi, by the way. If anybody wants to learn Hindi, that's like fantastic way for learning Hindi. And it's so touching that like usually I thought Mahabharata was a little cheesy and stuff, and this is actually because this was done in the 80s, but the actors are so good and everything is just so nicely presented, very authentic also, and it really like gets you feeling all different kinds of emotions, like crying and laughing, and like is very nicely done. But yeah, but I'm just trying to remember, Guhaka, was it in the beginning of Ramachandra's exile? Did he first meet with Guhaka, or was it towards? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was like in the beginning of Ramachandra being in exile, he met with the Guhaka king, and Guhaka wanted to give Ramachandra everything. Ah, God, I can't remember the details, but it was a really sweet part of. They have a beautiful song with the song sung by Guhaka in the Ramananda serial.
True. Is that when Lord Ramachandra and Sitaram, Lakshman, they crossing the river? They had to cross.
Exactly.
It's so, oh my God, it's so heartrending. And he loves Ramachandra so much. They love each other. Like, yeah. Is he kind of like a tribesman king? Like
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, a tribesman king. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I wish I had a better memory, because I've read it and I've watched it, but then I forget everything that I see, everything that I consume. But yeah, that's right in the Nrihari Prabhu. I forgot that section. Yeah. All right, it's raining here in Vrindavan quite intensely.
Really?
Yeah, which is great. It's been burning hot, and so now it's going to cool down finally. But yeah, it's raining.
When is the rainy season?
Now? Well, actually, it was more intense before. Now it's kind of like the end of the rainy season.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering how last year here you read Prabhupada's book. What is that book called? Light of the Bhagavat.
Oh yeah, that was so much fun. Yeah. No.
I was also remembering today, Ekachakradam, how Gurudev has written in his Navadip Damparikram book. It's not Gurudev himself, but he's published what one Ekachakravasi Brahmin has said, one Ekachakra Goswami. And the Ekachakra Goswami was saying that this Ekachakradam is actually non-different from Vrindavan as well. That this Ekachakra is also hidden Vrindavan. And he said, like, think about it. Where did Baladev Prabhu perform his pastimes? Vrindavan. Similar, where did Nityānanda Prabhu perform his pastimes? Ekachakra. So Ekachakra is Vrindavan.
Wow. Yeah, and there in Ekachakra there's Bankim Murai. Beautiful Vigraha there. Really short and fat and like very sweet eyes. And it's said that Nityananda Prabhu, like how Mahaprabhu ended his pastimes in this world by entering into the body of Gopinath. And so many people say that Nityananda Prabhu ended his pastimes by entering into the body of Bankim Rai. And lots of really very fascinating places in Ekachakra. Have you ever been there, Kishore Prabhu?
I have not, but I really want to go.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's amazing. And
yes.
The house there with the old tree and the deities where Lord Nityananda entered. One day when we arrived there, there was this blind pilgrim, Vaishnava, singing the most amazing Narottam Das Thakur's kirtans. And he walked all the way from Vrindavan.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the way to Ekachakra.
Yes.
Wow.
And he was blind. It was just a really amazing. It's an amazing place.
Well, Kishore, if you ever make it to Navadip and you can stay for a little while, maybe we can do a whole like Goda Mandal. We could go to different places in Goda Mandal.
Sure, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll contact you if I'm ever around.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the place where the Leela that we read the recap this morning of they're enacting all the pastimes. There's a tree. I think is that the tree you're referring to? It's like across from Chaitanya Saraswat Mat there, just across the road. And there's a big tree, and it said that's one of the places where they would enact all the pastimes. The one Lakshman falling down. Yeah.
Then there is the tree where it's across the pond, and where the placenta, they would bury the placenta at the root of the tree, or they would just plant a tree, and that's what I said. His brothers or like that, and but people. There are so many things said about the place, but yeah, we went there with Gurudev's cook in Navadvip, and he took us forever to get there. Yeah, I think so. And
Okay.
and at that time there had been it was really agitated. They were blocking the Communist Party was like up in arms. There had been some big deal, and some people got killed, and so we were traveling with Manjari, Ehrlichman, and Vatrini, the Gurudev's disciple, cook, and he took us hours and hours, and then we were stuck in a little town waiting. Anyhow, it was, but by the mercy of Lord Nityānanda, we made it through, and I came back to Navadvip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, I have another meeting I need to make, and it's going to start in 15 minutes. And so in this 15 minutes, I'm going to try to eat breakfast. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Yes.
I'd like to make one correction. I said if I'm around, and I'll contact you. Let me change that. When I'm around, I'll contact
When you're around. Yeah, not if, when. Jeez. Okay. I hope that's soon. All right. Hare Krishna, Shubhananda Prabhu. And everybody else watching, Dandavat Pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.